Hello, hi everyone. Welcome to Kuchetis Technology. Today our topic is default methods in interface. So let's start. So before Java 8, I know everyone knows the thing we can create abstract methods in interface. Those abstract methods, whether we declare or not declare, those abstract methods are public abstract methods. So before Java 8, we can create abstract methods in interface. Those methods, whether we declare or not declare, public abstract methods. And one more thing also, we can create public static final variables. This is the thing. These two things only we can create before Java 8. After Java 8, we can create concrete methods in interface. Concrete methods in interface. How can we create concrete methods in interface? By using default keyword. So from Java 8, we can create concrete methods in interface by using default keyword. So those default keywords, those default methods we can call or we can use from implemented classes. By using interface name, we cannot call. Why? Because those are concrete methods. Okay, those are not static methods. Okay, so let's see this point practically. So I have taken an interface. So, and I have created a default methods in interface, and I have taken one implemented class. That class is implementing test interface, and I have created object for test interface, and I'm calling this test1 method. So let me compile it. Let me compile and show you the output. Java C test interface impl1.java. Compiled Java space test interface impl1. So we got from test2 one method. So here just we have created default method and we created object for our implemented class, and we have called that method. Okay, so next point we need to discuss. Next point is, so if you are not comfortable with the interface, whatever logic is there in interface default method, so that method we can override, and we can override in our implemented class also. So next point tells, if you're not comfortable in interface default methods logic, then we can override that default methods in implemented class. That also we'll see the point. And example 2, same, I have taken in interface test1 method and I implements that interface and override. I override in that method. So at the rate override. Okay, I've overridden. I have created object for this implement class and I'm calling this test1 method. So now from where the test1 method will be executed? From implemented classes. Whenever this method not implemented, I mean not overridden in implemented class, it will be called from interface. Okay, so see this point also. We'll see, we'll compile and see. Okay, Java C test.mpl.java. So at the rate override, O must be capital, maybe. Yeah, O must be capital. In annotation, O must be capital. Override. Let's check. Yeah, O must be capital. I changed it. Java test interface IMPL2. So our method is executed from implemented class. So 2 points we did. We can want if you want interface name, interface default methods from implemented class, we can call. Second point, if you're not compatible with that interface default method logic, we can override in our implemented class, and we can write our own logic and we can call. Those are two options. So next point. So next point, actually, with this, for example, there are three interfaces. Those three interfaces having same default methods. So, so now one implemented class, it is implementing those three interfaces. Then that situation. So what will be happened? Which default method it has to override? Which default method it has to take? So now compiler confuses this point. Which default methods? So, with this default method, compiler will confuse us. So when two or more interfaces having same default methods, while overriding those default methods in implemented class, then compiler confuses from which interface it's need to be override. So there are interface I1, interface I2. Default methods having M1 method, M1 method in those two interfaces. If you not override, compiler will get compiler will get compile time error. If you not override any method, so we need to override compulsorily. Solution one, in that situation, we need to override. See that also. Let's check. So example 3, I have taken interface 1, interface 2, and I don't want to override. I don't want to override. Save. Test interface 3. Java C. Test interface 3. .java. What it is telling? Test interface IMPL type I1 and I2 incompatible. The test interface inherits unrelated default for test one. So it is telling no, there are default methods. No one has to, which one it has to, it has to consider. It is telling that. So we need to override. We need to override. So I'm overriding. At the rate override. So now I'm writing my own logic in implemented class from test from test IMPL I3. Okay, from test IMPL I3, I have overridden. So now compiler will understand it overridden, and whenever we are calling, it will check overridden or not overridden. And whenever we are calling, it does not think it, just it overridden or not overridden. If it is overridden, it will be called that method. That's it. It won't think about which interface it has we have taken. That's not a matter. First, it has to understand from it's overridden or not overridden. So override, one more R is missing in override. No? One more R is missing. Override. Compile successfully. Sorry. Yeah, I already got. So from test interface implementation 3 test 1. Got it, no? So what about, so I don't want to call this method. I don't want to call my own logic. I want to call interface I1 default method. On that situation, how? So even we have that option. Even we have that option. We can call default methods of particular interface too. Just we need to put I1 dot super dot I1 dot super dot test one. That's it. It will be called from interface one test one method, interface one test one default method. Okay. See, from I1 test one method. I don't want to call I1 interface test one method. I will need to call interface I2. So just you need to change interface I2 default method. Then you need to change here I2. Simple. See, now interface I2. Clear now, boss? What are the points we we covered? So why default methods in interface? What is the purpose introduced in Java 8? So the default methods first to concise the code to decrease the burden on the developer. To concise the means the more number of lines to decrease from more number of the lines to less number of the lines of the code. To decrease from more number of lines of the code to the less number of lines of the code. Okay, that is the thing. So that point we see, that point also we see. See, actually there is interface I1. That interface is implementing A class, B class, C class pass. Okay, now they implemented and they've written their own logic. So in middle of the sudden, we got A and B. They got their own requirement. C for C didn't get. So on that situation, if there is no default methods in interface concept, it is not there. What we do? We need to create another interface, and that method we need to put that the particular special requirement uh, requirement abstract method. We need to put another interface, and those interface need to call A and B implemented classes. That is the first case. So see that is the first thing, right? So if you override, if you create here abstract method, there is a force to override C class also, right? So that's why if there is default methods in interface, we don't have that problem. Whoever want, they can use, boss. Whoever don't want, they cannot use. That's it. That is the main thing of the default methods in interface. There is no force. Whoever want, they want. So that they are not comfortable also, they can override and they can use. That is how much comfortable it is. See, that is the main thing. I don't want to actually here the clear point, right? We no need to see practical. This one. So here many people get the doubt pass. So before Java 8, there is a clear cut of abstract class. Why abstract class? In abstract class is partial implementation class. I mean, partial means half of the abstract method will be there, half of the abstract methods will be there, half of the concrete methods will be there. So now interface only, if you are now after Java 8 in interface only, if we are able to create concrete methods, then what is the use of abstract methods? So many people will get. So from Java 8, interface is alternative to, and I mean replacing of abstract class. Huh? No, boss. No, not like that. There are many differences. So in abstract class, we can write non-static variables, boss. But in the case of interface, we can create only public static final variables. We cannot create constructors or static and non-static blocks in the interface. But in the case of abstract class, we can create constructors, static, non-static blocks. In the case of functional interface, we can write lambda expressions for interface. But for abstract class, we cannot write lambda expressions. So in the interface, we cannot override object class methods. But in the case of abstract class, we can create object class methods. It won't support state of the object. Interface, it won't support state of the object. But abstract class, it supports only state of the object. It supports state of the object. These are the main differences. Okay. So this is about default methods in interface. So almost we covered all the points. Okay. So in the next session, we will discuss about static methods in interface. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Bye.